question still hangs in the balance as we're officially less than a week away from the 2026 NBA draft. The Wizards are officially on the clock. ESPN.com's mock draft currently has A.J. DeBonsa going to Washington with the #1 overall pick. But only time will tell, because with his talents, guys like Darren Peterson or maybe Cameron Boozer, who are both in the field, feels like Adam Silver could announce anyone's name at #1, which wasn't the case 23 years ago when that guy was drafted with the top pick in 2003. And all this time later, LeBron James's future is still hovering over the NBA. Which brings us to a developing story. Our senior writer, Anthony Slater, published an article on ESPN.com this morning detailing everything we know about a pivotal Golden State Warriors offseason. So, Slater, there's been plenty of rumblings about LeBron potentially teaming up with his longtime rival Steph Curry in the Bay. What can you tell us about that possibility?
Yeah, beyond it just, being it would be a massive story, right, if that happened, and there's no openness from the Warriors. It just makes roster sense, if LeBron James, were to really test unrestricted free agency, he very clearly would be the top wing on the board for a team like the Warriors that is very deprived at the wing, with Jimmy Butler out for a lot of next season, Moses Moody also. So the Warriors again are open for to clear if they need to the $15.1 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception, and have a recruitment process that would include his friends, right? Steph Curry, Draymond Green, a coach, Steve Kerr, who coached him in the Olympics. But the reality is, I'm about to get to the bad news. $15.1 million is a huge pay cut for LeBron James. It's far less than the Lakers can pay him. And at this point, the intel I'm getting from the Warriors side is an expectation that LeBron James will ultimately go back to the Lakers. And as of now, they're kind of plotting out their summer, not necessarily expecting it to happen, but being open if LeBron James and the Lakers, don't come to terms.
All right, let's pause right there and bring in our front office insider, Bobby March. Bobby, what would a LeBron return to LA look like?
Well, I think it's a matter of how do the Lakers want to approach this as far as a team with cap space. And certainly you could do that with LeBron and then basically fill out the rest of the roster here. Let's say going into the offseason, $50 million in cap space. And let's say LeBron signs for 25. Now you go out and use that $25 million to fill the gaps with your roster. I think the one thing we can't dismiss is the Lakers basically running this group back and acting as a team over the cap. Now that would give them the flexibility to use their $15 million non-taxman level exception. You can go out and make a trade now and use some of those future draft picks. That gives them probably a little bit more optionality, but I do think if they are going to be a cap space team, LeBron's number will determine how much flexibility they have to fill out the rest of that roster.
All right, well, we talk future Hall of Famers. We got to bring in our own Hall of Famer, Mark Spears, of course. So, does an eventual LeBron return to the Lakers add up for you?
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that he's likely coming back. I am curious under this new Lakers regime, what the number is, though. Interesting to hear what Bobby had to say about it. And also, I'm hearing that one of his old teammates from Cleveland, Kevin Love, could likely be joining the Lakers too.
Oh, maybe that's a golf recruiting trip they're having right now?
Unrestricted free agent. Rejoining his old buddy.
Yeah.
And so I could see that, those two guys being reunited there.
All right, interesting for sure. All right, I want to pivot back to Golden State. While you're here, Slater, what other options are the Warriors evaluating if LeBron does go back to LA?
Yeah, look, you're not hearing them on the Giannis talks like they were at the deadline. You know, Kawhi Leonard is a guy also at the deadline that they sniffed around on. They felt there was an increased level of engagement from the Clippers, but ultimately a no from Steve Ballmer. And you get the sense now they're still getting a no from Steve Ballmer. So then you turn in-house. I expect Draymond Green, the team expects Draymond Green at this point likely to opt into his $27 million player option. There's interest in a reunion with Kristaps Porzingis, who they got with at the deadline. They have the 11th overall pick. And what's interesting about that, Trey Murphy, the New Orleans wing, they've shown a lot of interest in him in the past. They almost drafted him. They had been hearing from the Pelicans dating back to past trade deadline, not available. It sounds like he is potentially more obtainable this time around, and the Warriors do have a very appealing trade chip in that 11th overall pick.
You know, Slater's right. The Pelicans are open-minded to listening for Trey. Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver's first year with the franchise, they weren't picking up the phone. They are picking up the phone now, and I don't think they're shopping Trey, but I'm hearing that they're listening to offers for Trey. Zion, though, I'm hearing is not on the table. They expect him to be there long term. But if a team really is interested in Trey, I think Joe and Troy will pick up the phone and listen and see if the Warriors call.
Bobby, is Trey Murphy gettable for Golden State?
Well, I think it's a matter of how do you get to the number. You know, Trey Murphy's making roughly around $27 million. You basically have to send out $20 million in salary, and certainly the 11th pick in the draft would have to be in play. And I think when you look at the roster, you're top heavy with Curry and Butler, and as Anthony said, Draymond's got that player option. If he opted in, then yes, he is trade eligible. Then after that, it's putting together the contracts, whether it be Brandon Podziemski, whether it be Moses Moody, whether it be Keith Santos. That would probably get you there with those three players. But as I said, it's a matter of making the math work as far as if a player like Trey Murphy is a player you want to go out and get.
Mark?
Joe Dumars' son is in the front office. He's also Draymond Green's former AAU teammate.
Okay.
And Joe Dumars has been a Draymond Green mentor for a long time, but I don't see that happening. I think the Pelicans would like a younger player. Respectfully to Draymond.
Right. Understand. Now, let's end it here with Slater. If the Warriors do indeed keep their first round pick, who are they considering selecting with that 11th overall selection?
Yeah, look, Mark mentioned the Pelicans needing a younger player. The Warriors really need a younger player. And, you know, they're cycling through a bunch of prospects into their facility the last few weeks. Yaxel Lindenberg, the Michigan wing, came in last week, really impressed them. You know, I heard he crushed his workout now, but, you know, there's two questions with Yaxel and this idea of the Warriors drafting him at 11. One is his age. He's 24 years old. He's actually older than Jonathan Kuminga, you know, blast from the past for the Warriors. But also, the Warriors sitting at 11, there's a belief that something,
which is very easy for him here. Who looking at here for the Warriors?
And let's go back to the sound when he finished his workouts and what he had to say about potentially his role and what it would be like playing for the Warriors.
You see some similarities. He's you know, win all guy, you can say. And he's a connector for a squad. You know, he makes the right read majority of the time. He plays super hard on defense, willing to take on the best from the other squad. So I have a lot of similarities. Just man, it'll be amazing. He provides so much gravity on the court that it really makes it super easy for other guys to score, other guys to just, you know, showcase any ability that they have. If I was here, I'll be more like a, you know, secondary ball handler. Whatever Steph is taking out the game, I'll be there to assist, you know, maybe provide a little bit more offense or instant offense in a way.
Through the draft process a year ago, decided to come back to Michigan. And when he went back to Michigan, not only did he help the Wolverines win the national championship, he developed his game even further. I don't think his age is an issue at 24. I think the Warriors have proven they don't play a lot of their younger guys. They're in a window right now that's closing with Steph and Draymond. And you watch this videotape, you see a guy at 6'9" that has a great skill set offensively, can bring the ball up the floor, distribute the ball, can attack off the bounce, but more importantly, maybe hit defense. He's got a 7'4" wingspan, can take up a lot of space, had the best plus minus in all of college basketball at over plus 31 points over the course of the season. He's a tremendous